What's up, guys? Travesty here, one-third of the greatest faction in podcast history. Just Freakin Wrestlin, the JFW podcast. Guys, this is part 2 of the SCW RoundTable for the month of May. We're going to round it out. Hope you guys are enjoying these, and I can't wait for life to go back to normal, to where we could start releasing some of the normal Just Freakin Wrestling podcast as well. So, again, these live Podbeans for Southland Championship Wrestling are going to occur monthly, so we're excited to include that into our podcasting, and hopefully you guys enjoy them as well. So let's go ahead and let's dive back into Southland Championship Wrestling Roundtable, brought to you by Just Freakin Wrestling. It's time! It's time! It's JFW time! I'm not gonna lie, Podbean does have probably the dumbest music to use during an intermission or a break, but I guess it's better than silence. I really don't know. We have a couple of new people coming in. I see a lot of people came and gone. Hopefully they'll be back here as we continue on to part 2. Adam, you said you'll call back in. If you want to, please feel free to do so. Like I said, it's open to anyone calling in, as long as you got headphones and everything to have the conversation with. It's just because of the echo. The echo is really weird to deal with, and there were echoey moments in the past month episode that we did, and it just sounded really weird, like when we released it onto a podcast. So that's the biggest thing. Just make sure you have headphones if you call in. Let's see what Adam's up to. Adam, long time no talk, man.
Yeah, I know, man. It's been a while.
It feels like it's been forever.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right. We saw Bo. Bo popped in here for a moment. Hopefully,
no. I was kind of hoping he'd hop on here, but I mean, we still got time, so you never know.
Yeah, we're only an hour and a half in, so we got another hour and a half to go. So people get to enjoy hearing me for at least another hour. So.
Hey, you know what? Too, I wanted to point out, you were talking trash about the music and stuff. I was grooving, man. I was digging it.
There's some songs that are okay, but then there are other ones. Like I put it on, I ran, got an extra drink, went to the bathroom and stuff. When I came back, it sounded like some Barney bullshit was playing. I should really pick and choose the right music to go with the fans. But hey, if you liked it, I'm okay with that. As long as the listeners are enjoying it, that's.
I mean, it's not something that I listen to every day, but I mean, if you would have got like some Metallica on there, I mean, I'd be fine with that.
You know what? I did a live stream this morning for my other podcast, and one of the things we talked about was Podbean allowing us to pick our own music, to put on here, to kind of upload it, because I love, the indie band music that was sent to me by local artists and stuff that we interview on the other podcast. And I love using their music. Man, if I could upload it onto Podbean and use as like intermission, it'd be so much easier than these weird like beats that they probably got free from somebody.
Yeah, I would figure like actual like, music that you hear on the radio or if you have on your phone, whatever the case may be. I think it'd be cool. But I mean, like me, I don't complain too much. I literally listen to everything. So.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the interest in having a JFW themed Adam Cage shirt, man, and I think I'll talk to Dizzle J and make that happen.
Yeah, man, I'd definitely buy one. I'd wear it to the ring.
Yeah, awesome. We'll talk personally when this is all said and done, and we'll figure out because basically what we try to do, and I'm not sure if you got a chance to see the Angus or Andy Black shirts, but it's the JFW logo on the front. And then on the back, it says your name, and then, like a quote or something right underneath, like whatever you want to say. So we'll put that on there. And the cool thing is, your shirt would be the first one to have the new JFW logo on it. So. Oh
yeah, there you go, man. I'm looking forward to it. I've seen Angus walk around with the shirt on and stuff, so I've seen it.
Right, and he hasn't worn it lately. I'm kind of upset by that. I figured he'd wear it constantly. Like that'd be new ring attire for him at that point.
No, I mean he wears it backstage.
Does he?
Yeah, he wears. Yeah, I've seen him walking around.
See, I wouldn't know that because I'm not allowed backstage, and I'm not sure why. I should be allowed in the locker room.
You got to talk to the Sentinel,
right?
Or Hunter. I don't know, man. Couldn't talk to me about it because nobody listens to us anyway. So
yeah, Hunter wouldn't let me in the back. He'd probably tell me there'd be no room for me, not enough room in the back for Travis. But Adam, so you've been with SCW for a few years on and off and everything. I want to ask your opinion on some of the local talent in SCW that has been there. So I'm just gonna give you a name. I just want to get your opinion on it. Okay, simple.
Sure. Yeah.
We already know James Creed, so we don't got to worry about him. Yeah. What about JPH? How do you feel about JPH?
Extremely talented.
Right now, do you feel like, because I'm not sure if you were there during the Rulers of Wrestling era when he was tagging with RK Savage, but I think he really kind of like came into his own like when he kind of like went on his own. Obviously, the split, it wasn't a mutual thing. I don't even think it was JPH's decision. It was more RK Savage, and we saw the culmination of that at the I Quit match on Clifton a couple years back. But JPH has to be, a guy that, could wear the Genesis title, could wear the SCW title. But you never actually faced JPH, right? Or have you? And maybe I never got to see that match.
No, I've never wrestled him. I don't think I've ever came in contact with him at all in the ring. But yeah, you go back to his tag team with RK Savage and stuff. At that point, both needed to go on their own. Both of them are like great athletes, RK Savage and JPH respectively. And honestly, like I've always, ever since I first saw JPH, I've always thought he could be heavyweight champ. He can be. Now JPH versus Max Halliday, I would pay money to see that.
Yeah, and we saw JPH pick up a huge victory against Marche Rocky at the last SCW show.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people were like, and nothing against JPH, but I think a lot of people were pretty surprised to see about that victory. Like Marche Rocket has been in this business for over a decade. Wrestling with Soul Touchers and having being managed by C Red, who we saw C Red make his appearance back in SCW. Now the new manager of Elite Pain. What's your thoughts on that? How do you feel about C Red now coming back and managing Elite Pain?
Yeah, it's the right person for the job. C Red goes back to Windy City Pro Wrestling. And as well as Hunter and Marco and majority of the guys that that wrestle for Southland and stuff, they all go back to Windy City. So if there was anybody, probably besides, I know this isn't going to happen again, but anybody besides Vanilla Gorilla, C Red's the man to manage Elite Pain, because they'll be unstoppable. I don't know, unstoppable against Bulletproof LLC, but to everybody else, they're unstoppable.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Johnny Wild and everything. We saw his new tag team make a debut. What do we think about it? Do you think they could be some good competitors against a tag team of Adam Cage and Bo?
Well, the funny thing is, since you mentioned Johnny Wild too, a lot of people may not remember this, but before I left, there was a short time where I was managed by Johnny Wild.
Oh wow!
Okay. I think, it was very, very short time, and then I ended up leaving and stuff. So the fact Johnny Wild in Bulletproof LLC, I'm all for it.
Right. Well, and I know last month I was kind of talking to Bo Anderson a little bit about maybe some new additions to Bulletproof, because we have seen some guys come and as members of Bulletproof, but we really haven't seen them in a while. And I keep messing up his name. Big Tully, Big Sully. I just can never remember what the name.
Big Tully. Big Tully. Yeah.
So we saw he was there, but now we don't see him anymore. We saw there was another guy you tagged with a few months back that I missed that show, but like now he's gone. So go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, so I was gonna mean, there seems to be maybe some openings in Bulletproof. I mean, like you guys got to be open to the idea of growing as a group in SCW, and we just saw the Amazon and Angus kind of come back together, and now they obviously against the Sheik and against Bane X. Maybe there's an opening for them in Bulletproof. You know, somebody of their talents available. Maybe Bulletproof could get something out of that.
Well, the situation with Big Tully, that I'm not necessarily, I don't necessarily know what happened there. One day, like for a while, he was here, and then the next thing I know, he's gone. And then we have Austin Fury, which is super, super great. I mean, he's awesome. I mean, his in-ring ability is second to none. It's insane what he can do in the ring. But I know he had a little bit of an injury and stuff. I'm not going to go into too many details about that, but I know Bo basically told him to take all the time he needs, to heal up and stuff. So seeing him back in the ring and back with Bulletproof LLC, that'd be great. He's a great talent. But if you're asking who wouldn't mind seeing in Bulletproof LLC, yeah. I think Bo said it last time. If you know what, if he sees the light and stuff, because he's been around, for a long time. There's actually two people, but the first one I could see wouldn't mind is Doc Blaylock. Can you imagine that? Bulletproof Doc Blaylock. I mean, he's just got to break away from his kid who's like basically sponging off him. And then another one I wouldn't mind seeing is Marche Rocket. I've been in the ring with Marche. I know what he's capable of, and I know what he could bring to the table for Bulletproof LLC. And I've told Bo many times, that Marche would be great and thrive in Bulletproof LLC. And I know Bo has talked to him, but I don't know what was said in that conversation.
Yeah. Steve went ahead and mentioned that Sergeant Brooks would be a great addition to Bulletproof, and Amy, hey, Amy, thank you for joining us. She also agrees with you on bringing Austin Fury back.
Now, you see, Sergeant Brooks, I've talked to Sergeant Brooks. Mm-hmm. I've talked to him about coming in.
It'd be great to see Sergeant Brooks with Bulletproof.
And you know what? Based off our conversation and stuff, it kind of seems like he's interested in doing it. But Sentinel has to bring him back to Southland, and the way I figure too is Sentinel got wind that he's in talks with Bulletproof LLC, and you haven't seen him lately, have you?
Yeah. Hunter says, "Who is this sergeant?" Like you don't know. We see. I saw Jimmy and Sassy IT or Sassy It came on. So, hey guys, thank you for being here.
Hey, Keith, my buddy Keith is on.
Keith is here.
Yeah, he is here. He is here.
Right. I mean, and this is great. It's Bulletproof making the time for me. And that's an honor for JFW. I know you guys are busy, even in this pandemic. Still traveling and doing business. Safely. I do. You guys doing it in a safe way. I gotta say though, I am a little bit jealous because I had heard rumors that Steve had an opportunity to hang out with you guys on private planes and stuff, but I think Travis's invite might have got lost somewhere.
Well, Steve, he reached out to us and stuff, and he pretty much sees what we see as far as like the Sentinel goes and what Keith can bring to the table as president commissioner. Which is a job he shouldn't have lost in the first place. Yeah. But he reached out to us, and he just started hanging out with us and stuff, and he has some ideas, for Bulletproof LLC, and so he's helped us as much as we helped him as well. So I mean, we could do the same thing for you, man. You just gotta come to us,
I'll keep that. I'm gonna make a note about that. I'll remind that in the future if I ever need a guy's time away and stuff like that. I'm gonna.
Oh, the best place to go with us is Vegas. That's Steve. He knows.
I've never been to Vegas. It would be definitely a trip that I need to do.
Oh, neither have I until I joined Bulletproof LLC, and it's an experience. Trust me.
I couldn't imagine what Vegas would be like with like Steve, Keith, Bo, and Adam Cage. I mean, it seems like a time in my life that I probably won't remember the next day.
Oh, you'll still remember it regardless. Yeah, you'll still remember. Ask Steve. He said the same thing, and then I asked him the next day. I was like, "So do you remember everything?" And he said, "I absolutely do." So he knows.
Steve, I need you to call in, man. You said you're going to call in. Get your headphones on. Plug that shit in. Give me a call. Hunter, you're more welcome to call in too if you'd like. I still haven't seen Sentinel pop by, so maybe he just doesn't.
No, he's not gonna.
Yeah, he doesn't want to give me the time of day anymore. He's I think he's still a little upset about the last episode, which ironically he walked out of kind of just like he did the last couple of SCW shows.
Now, what kind of professional, says that he's going to show up on a show, which he does, and then can't take criticism and basically storms off the podcast just like he does at the shows? What kind of professional is that?
I know, right? It's like he can't take criticism. Like I get criticized by people all the time, and I just don't walk away. I don't tuck my tail and flee. I mean, it's
that's what he likes. That's what he likes to say for Bulletproof LLC too. He pretty much says that we're not professional, and we basically tuck our tail between our legs and run away, which is not the case. Not once have you ever seen Bulletproof LLC act like they're above anybody. And Sentinel not showing up to this podcast and still being butthurt of what happened last time. He thinks he's above everybody else. He thinks that his presence makes the show. No, it doesn't. Yeah. But that's just my opinion, and some people support that and know it. But there's some people out there, that's still brainwashed.
Yep. Well, lucky for us, we got Steve on.
What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? Doing good, man. Missouri opened up, so I'm living my best life now.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
We're still sheltered here in Illinois.
Yeah, I was in Chicago the past couple days. I know.
Oh, you're at the Chicago branch last couple days working?
Yeah, I had to take the shift for Bo. Bo couldn't make it yesterday, so.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I've had a little time off. It's been nice from Bulletproof,
Yeah, man, like I said, you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta take care of the family and stuff. That's what we're all about,
When Travis, you gotta understand this. When you're good to Bulletproof is good to you.
Well, I didn't want to be that guy who asks for the things. I don't want to go to him like, hey, Bulletproof, you have a plane, right? I really want to go to Vegas because then I feel like
I never did that.
I know. I always feel that you need a certain level in your life to be part of like a Bulletproof event or trip. And I just felt like maybe I just wasn't quite there yet. I still gotta earn that Bulletproof respect. Now I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little ashamed to admit it, but I was never a fan of Bulletproof back in the day.
Hey,
and
honestly, I wasn't either until I started seeing what was going on with the Sentinel, and I started talking. I was one of biggest Bo's, foes. I couldn't stand him.
Bo's foes. I love that.
Yes. And then
that could be a rap single.
yo, Bo's foes. But no, you start evolving, you see what's going on, and it's not right. And that's how I got involved with them.
Well, Steve's, you got to think too. Me and Steve actually struck up a relationship after the whole Revolt formation.
Yes,
and then once, yeah, and then once the whole thing with the Revolt, just went downward spiral. I actually talked to Steve too, and he was like, "Well, why don't you think about going to Bulletproof?" And I'm like, "Well, I mean, that's an idea." And then not long after that, that's when Bo, contacted me. He's like, think about what we could do. And so yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a great company. So many people down it because they want to be a part of it, and they just can't. That's just how it is.
Well, I think that's a problem with Neeser too. I mean, he's been calling me out, and
It'd be great to have a gold medalist at Bulletproof. It'd be awesome.
Oh no, yeah, that'd be great. But you don't have to call me out. I mean, you just got to message me on Facebook or something. We can make a meeting happen.
He just needs to see the light. Need to see what's happening in Bulletproof. It's great.
Yep.
I love Neeser, but he's so behind like Sentinel, like he's almost blinded by everything else.
Well, sometimes that happens when you put faith in a leader, and Neeser knows how evil Sentinel is. He just don't want to admit it yet.
Another thing I wanted to ask Neeser when he was on here too, and it slipped my mind, but I now just remembered it. What is Patriots of Hope's problems with Bulletproof LLC?
That's
has anybody noticed that? I mean, we've been in multiple matches that had no involvement with them whatsoever, and then suddenly they're sticking their nose in our business.
It cracks me up when they come out, they're cheering USA, and it's like, hey, we're all from the USA. What the hell?
Well, that's true. Yeah, but I see Sergeant Brooks said Adam Cage needs a title shot. I 100% agree.
I'm telling you, Sergeant Brooks, we'd have a sergeant at arms. Would be great for Bulletproof. Mm-hmm. He'd be a presence to the ring.
Great security too.
Yes.
When was the last time Bulletproof had a title shot?
That would be last year, August.
That's a little too long.
For tag titles, I think my last title shot was January, I believe, which I kind of got screwed out of, but we're not going to go into that. And I think Bo's was a month or two before that.
That's just how SCW does it. They screw Bulletproof. I don't care what anybody says. It's not crying. It's just the truth. And when people speak the truth, they get called, oh, you're crying and you're whining. No, that's the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. People just don't understand. I mean, people just don't understand, and they're drinking the Sentinel's Kool-Aid, which, in my opinion, tastes like cat piss.
Yeah. Well, I still believe that Bulletproof does need to be on the posters, the advertisements for the shows.
Listen, that's another thing too. Not to cut you off, Steve, but or Travis, but that's another thing too that I heard Max Holiday say. Everybody's whining about not being on the poster, but you know what, man? I mean, he's a guy who's on the poster all the time. So I mean, he's not going to be complaining or anything like that, or nor needs he. He's Max Holiday. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's awesome. Yeah. There was one time where I got compared to Max Holiday, and it's like, you know what? I know Steve has his problems with Max and stuff like that, but I don't have a problem with him. So if anybody was like, "You're just like Max Holiday," it's like, okay, that's fine.
Max Holiday is pretty cool. He's the current 3-time heavyweight SCW champion.
Yeah, he's that for a reason. I mean, like I said, I know Steve has his problems with him and stuff, but me personally, I don't have a problem with him.
Yeah, it goes back to the ARW days. I can't let it go.
I think Steve's more upset about how much I put him over than he is actually upset about the guy himself.
Well, I mean, with your guys' conversation, I did feel a little dirty just listening to it.
I know, I was getting freaked out by it. I was like, what the hell? What's going on when nobody's around with these two?
But you got to understand. You have to understand.
Max put the belt on like Shawn Michaels did in Playgirl or something for him.
You have to understand where I'm coming from as a wrestling fan. Like, I mean, like for you guys, it's a little different. Like you guys get to live in the pro wrestling world. I mean, and Steve, is a little bit different for you because you're not a wrestler. You are a fan, but you've had the ability to meet like all these independent wrestlers, even back to the Windy City days. Like for me, like I was a kid watching my cousin do LWF. I had a little bit behind the scenes when I worked for Elite Pro, but I never had a chance to actually talk to the wrestlers. So like this moment in my life, and it's weird to say, like at 29, 30, I'm going to be 31. Like this is my time where I get to actually meet like these wrestlers and have like that mark out moment. And I'm not going to lie. Yeah, it's a little embarrassing to mark out so much to wrestlers being 30 years old.
but I never got a chance to do this shit like as a kid. Like I never got that like holy shit Hulk Hogan moment. That was never
brother. I am 44 years old. I've only had 2 mark out moments in my whole life. One was last year when Terry Allen walked into that frickin' SCW arena.
Mm-hmm.
No one else knew who he was in that crowd, and I just marked out. And on 10/19/19, I got to meet the Godfather, Sam DeCero.
Yeah,
those are my 2 mark out moments.
And see, like,
I'm still kind of hot a little bit about the Sam DeCero thing because I ran into him before like the whole thing with the Godfather thing went down and stuff. But he used to work with my dad for the city of Chicago. Yeah, he used to work with my dad for the city of Chicago, and I ran into him, and he didn't remember me, but he remembered my sisters. So I'm a little hot about that still.
Yeah. But that's the thing, like that conversation I had with Max Holiday was today, like on the show. That's the first conversation I ever had with Max Holiday.
It was still a little creepy though.
I'll say, like I said, I'll admit it. I marked out way fucking hard, but I mean, like it's like regardless of like being the host of the wrestling podcast and meeting people here and there, I always mark out when I meet somebody new. Like when I got a chance to sit down and talk to Hunter Payne for the first time when we started this for the Southland Championship Wrestling. I mean, I remember him as Balthazar back in Elite Pro, and even back then, like, I mean, I have DVDs of Elite Pro Wrestling with Hunter Payne in them, and I'm the camera guy doing his entrance. I never got a chance to even talk with him back then. Back when he was with Nightbreed, or even when he was with Cash Inc., you know, and stuff like that, I never got a chance to actually talk with him. But I got to see some of his matches, and the fact when I got to meet him, I was like, "Holy shit!" You know, Hunter Payne, Balthazar, like this is a guy that I remember watching back in the day. Now I get to meet him again now. Now, you know, after a while, like, you know, that mark out feeling, it goes away a little bit because you get to know him a little bit. And now, obviously, you know, old age and fat jokes are our thing, which is cool. But I mean, my first conversation on my podcast was with the heavyweight SCW champion. I mean, realistically, that was my first time ever talking to an SCW heavyweight champion who still had the title at the time. So yes, a little creepy, marked out like way too much. I'll admit that, but you know what? I'm not ashamed of it because I'm a wrestling fan at heart, and I will mark out when I meet wrestlers like that. And I hate the fact that it's like you said, and I agree with you 100%. When Terry came out and you freaked out, I wish I knew who that guy was, but I never got a chance. I never got a chance to live that Windy City time frame. I never
honestly,
I was there. I know how Steve feels. I was there.
I didn't get to go to none Windy City, but that's when the internet was, you know, and that's how I followed them. Yeah. I never got to go
Windy City. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I never got to go up to Chicago, you know, where they went. But I would follow. They were, you know, the premier independent. You know, you got guys today that came from Windy City that are, you know, like Hunter and, you know, Ivan. They're still around. Mike Anthony, Terry Allen,
Steve
Buzz. They're still, you know, Austin Roberts, Marchette. You know, they're still kicking ass.
Yeah, and like I was going to say too. I mean, Windy City is like, it's not the main reason. Probably maybe the second most influential thing on my life that made me want to become a professional wrestler, because I lived on the south side where Windy City ran the shows and stuff. And like I said, with Sam DeCero used to work with my dad, so we used to get tickets all the time. We were there almost every show.
Nice.
You know, and like I said, I remember Hunter Payne as Balthazar. I remember seeing that. I remember Austin Roberts as a Baden. You know, I remember seeing Steve Boz. You know, I remember seeing Ivan Manson. So it's like being in the locker room with those guys now, on a professional level and stuff. It's crazy to think, because me at 5 years old going to Windy City pro wrestling shows, I would have never have thought that.
Right.
Yeah. See, I never got to do that.
Travis, you're talking about meeting wrestlers, marking out. Yeah. Let me tell you a quick story about meeting Hunter Payne. I started going to Southland about 2014. This is when they were legends, okay? Less than a year after that, they lost whatever was going on in Legends, so they started going to Shabant's, was 5 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
You know, after the show, we're starting to meet people, and there's this guy just sitting in a corner, no one's talking to him. And he's like, I'll give you an autograph, and no one's talking to him. He's like almost crying. I said, sir, are you okay? He said, well, I'm Hunter Payne. I have no fans. I said, I'll start to be your fan, sir. And he paid me like $10. So I took it, That guy's got to eat, so, it seems like people have come around today, but, he'll lie and say, no, that didn't happen, but, And then one other time, he tried to call me in the ring, and I put my hand on the ropes, and security kicked my ass out. But, I'm just trying to give him back his $10. He looked like he needed it.
I have one mark moment, and this was 2014, I believe, for Chicago Style Wrestling, and I was training with them, and they had Jake Roberts come in, and they had me and this one. Yeah, they had me and this one other guy pretty much follow him wherever he went and stand by him in his autograph sessions and stuff, and we got to talk to him for a little bit. Super cool guy. Bo has a different opinion on him, but super cool guy. But I had kind of had a little bit of a mark out moment there, and then the other one was when I went to WrestleMania 32, I believe it was in Dallas, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And HBK, Mick Foley, and Steve Austin came out, so that was awesome. Good to be there live,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, see, and I get it, maybe my mark out moment wasn't as spectacular as your guys's, but
hey,
can't go back in time now. It happened. It will forever be etched in JFW history now.
Well, let me ask you this, Travis. Let me ask you this, actually. So let's say, for example, you're a wrestler. Okay.
Yeah.
What is your dream match, past and present? Who would you want to wrestle?
Like overall, like WWE or just independent?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. WWE, I mean, past or present, doesn't matter.
So if I could pick one person that I could wrestle, it's hard, but I would either want to wrestle. I would want to wrestle like 97 Sting, or I'd want to wrestle like. Honestly, I want to talk independent. So if I was wrestling anyone independently, I would actually want to wrestle my cousin Acid. Just because I think having like that family feud would make a great story in the independents, and he's just really, really good at what he does.
Was he an LWF or something, or Elite, or?
Yeah, so my cousin, he wrestled. He started out on LWF, the Lunatic Wrestling Federation, which I actually bought the LWF book. It was on either Amazon or Audible. My cousin?
Amazon's got it too.
Yeah. The book was great. Yeah, I love the book. It's to sit there and like learn, like to read like the history about it and everything, and like Billy Whack and even like some of the old wrestlers like Charcoal Supreme and stuff like that. And it actually has a brief there's a chapter where my cousin is in it and discussing like him showing up at the school and learning and stuff like that. And I remember talking to my cousin about how like he used to ride his bike for miles to get to the school to do training and stuff. And
oh wow,
he and I know there was between the LWF and Elite Pro, there was time in between where he wrestled, but we never met to those shows. I only went to a few LWF shows that he wrestled at. But Elite Pro Wrestling, he owned it. He was the owner of Elite Pro Wrestling.
Oh, no shit.
And he ran the school with Jay Jensen and the Tomaselli brothers. So, so for nine months, I had the opportunity to be trained by my cousin, by Jay Jensen, and Sal and Vito Tomaselli. I don't think Brandon was there too much when I was there, but I mean, I got to be trained by these guys and got to learn, like, the ropes, if you will, the bumps and the ropes and suplexes and stuff like that. For some reason, I never understood forearms. I can never fucking do forearms. To this day, I still can't do a fucking forearm. But everything else I learned, and you sit there and you learn how to do how to perform a move, but also how to take a move. And I don't know what happened to the class that I was part of. I don't think any of them really wrestle anymore. If they do, I can't find them, and I know I've tried searching for them to get them on the podcast. But I know one of them. I saw one of them wrestle at Hidden Cove in Bourbonnais years ago.
So was that for Chicago style Southland or Vanguard?
I couldn't tell you the name of the company. This was like,
Vanguard used to go to Hidden. Well, then if it was called Hidden Cove, it was Vanguard.
Yeah, it was
knew it was Sportsplex.
Yeah, it was still called Hidden Cove at this time. He went as John E. Cash. That was his wrestling name.
Hunter may know because Hunter wrestled for Vanguard.
Hunter probably does because Johnny Cash, he was a referee. He had a dark match at some of the shows that Hunter was on. But I mean, there was JPH met Bray Wyatt one time and almost by accident. No shit. So there was Johnny Cash. There was Ryan Projects. There was Kimberly Cash. She was in the school with me, and she was the manager of Cash Inc. with Balthazar and Trauma. His name wasn't Trauma in Elite Pro, but it's Trauma from Team Dammit. Team Dammit. With Willie. Fucking Willie the Bomb. I remember watching Willie back in 2008. You know, in New Breed Wrestling Alliance down in, oh, God, what the hell is that town?
Wasn't that down in Rantoul?
No, one definitely. It was wherever that Lion's Den store is at.
That's a shit. I'm not gonna say where I know that's Buckley Loda.
Buckley, that's Buckley. Yeah.
I mean, it's okay. It's okay if you know. I mean,
well, it's the only place like you're hitting the exit when you see Lion's Den like right there. So
I thought that was Lion's Den.
Just hear the tire screech as soon as you see it.
Well, I just seen on here. Hunter said, "Oh my God, dude, you're foolish." It's true. I'm sorry. It's just true. I didn't mean to bust you out, but hey, I still I don't like you, but hey, I got respect for you. But you needed some fans.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no. So there was Johnny Cash, Kimberly Cash, Ryan Projects. There was a guy we called him Brett Michaels because he looked like Brett Michaels. I can't remember what his name he wrestled as. But there was a referee, I believe, at GPW, and I hate that I can't remember his name. Shorter guy, he was at the school. Chuck Martin.
Oh, yeah.
He's a referee.
I'm messing with you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm messing with y'all.
Chad Norris. Chad Norris was there in the school. Eddie, the guy who owns Northern Lights Wrestling out in Godley. He was in the wrestling school with me.
DeCobra was down there for a while. Newbury, I thought he was.
DeCobra was at New Breed Wrestling Alliance.
Steve Red was down there a few times, I believe.
Well, yeah, he managed Team Dammit with Willie and Trauma.
Yep.
And then there was the I can't remember the family who was in New Breed. I can't remember the last name, but it was like it wasn't Tomaselli because it was the Tomaselli brothers. But anyways, there was like the Godfather and all that stuff down there. Cool. I love New Breed Wrestling. It was a small venue, but I mean, I met Tracy Smothers there before I even knew who Tracy Smothers was because I was a kid back then. Never thought about I'd never looked into classic wrestling and stuff until like mid-20s. But I met Tracy Smothers. I saw Willie there in Elite Pro before I saw him part of the family. See Red, and it's just cool to watch, as SCW and DWA and ARW, like all these guys that I saw back in the day that I never gave a second thought to until I saw him again. I was like, holy shit, like I remember him wrestling at my cousin's show, all this stuff. There was a guy, Corporal Robinson, he was a Juggalo Championship Wrestling champion.
Yes.
I met him a couple of times, and he was a pretty cool dude to me. I mean, I'm not sure how he really is. Like, if he was just being nice, which I've met a lot of wrestlers, and they never really are just nice to be nice. They're just kind of like themselves when you're the guy putting up the ring or hanging out flyers and stuff like that. To them, you're in the business. They'll just be who they want to be.
Not to cut you guys off, but I got to get back to work. My break is over.
Oh, yeah, man.
So, I'm being paid by your tax dollars here in the state of Illinois. So I'll continue to look at my phone, but I got to get off the phone and get back in, guys.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you stopping in.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
It was a good time talking to you, man.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. But yeah, no, anyway, so yeah, that's my independent life, man. I would love to face my cousin. I mean, I've asked my cousin numerous times, like, come to an SCW show, man. Like, it would be fun just to watch the wrestling with you. And I'm pretty sure, like, I talked to Hunter. Hunter knows my cousin and a couple other people, and it's always weird, like when I mention him, because I don't want people to think like I'm name dropping him, but it's my only way to kind of explain like how I'm in the wrestling business. Like, oh, well, my cousin did this and did that and stuff. But
Right.
yeah. What about you? Who's your dream matches against?
Man, there's honestly so many. Like you could name off Bret Hart. You could name off. You could even put Steve Boz in there. He's the one who trained me, and I never got to wrestle him. You could put Undertaker in there. You could. There's so many names, but probably the top name is probably Bret Hart.
Yeah.
100%. Just the way he worked and stuff. It's just. I think it'd be a good match, in my opinion.
See, I can see you wrestling like a Bret Hart. I don't think I could have a good match with Bret Hart, even though I think Bret Hart could have a good match with anybody. For me, it's like I know my wrestling, like what my wrestling moveset is. It's more like powerhouse stuff. I think like suplexes and stuff like that. Like that's who I think I see myself as. Actually, I would love to have like a match against Yokozuna or Bam Bam Bigelow, Vader, like a bigger guy. I would love like a bigger guy match. Hunter Payne, I would love to wrestle Hunter Payne one day. I think that'd be a good match to do. I'll lose.
Vader was stiffer than an oak tree, man. I mean,
oh god, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
the fact that Shawn Michaels came out alive after some of those, after Reputation alone, with Vader being stiff, it's just man.
What was it? I think it was Stan Hansen that popped his eye out of socket. The popped Vader's eye out of socket. I think it was Stan Hansen.
Yeah, it was Stan Hansen in Japan.
Yeah. And the fact that he just pushed it back in and continued with the match. It's just one of those things. I remember when I was in school, and I took a forearm for the first time, and I don't know any of you guys out there who ever wrestled my cousin, but maybe you guys can kind of vouch for this. There were two things that my cousin did. I'm not sure if he just did it just to me or this is how he wrestled in the ring. Chops, knife edge chops, and forearms were really stiff, and he like really laid them in because you want to get that impact, you want to get that sound off of it. He gave me my first forearm ever, and it knocked me out on my feet for 2 seconds. Like, I lost 2 seconds of my life when he fucking did it. And it was my own fault because I leaned into it. I flinched. So it was me. It wasn't anything he did because he said, don't flinch. Well, it's one of the things, like, when you never experience something like this, your body's going to react the natural way it knows how to react. So when he went and gave me a forearm, I kind of, I twitched into it. And instead of him hitting the pocket, he hit me in the side of the head and just knocked me out. And I was standing. There was like 2 seconds I don't remember. But
you clearly haven't been chopped by Hunter or Marche or anybody.
I'm gonna say that my cousin has a worse chop. Maybe not now. Maybe back in the day. But I mean, there were like I said, I got videos of Elite Pro down in my living room, and I was watching when he was teaming with oh god, what the hell is his name? Now I feel bad not remembering it. But it was Team War. It's not Sin. I can't remember. Anyways, but there was he did a knife edge chop to somebody from NWA Mid South, I think. That you just hear it echo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on a second. Hunter, you did not drop me with a little forearm.
No, he's talking about me. He's talking about me at the wrestling school.
Okay.
No, he's talking about me because he did.
No, because the first time he chopped me was in the beginning when I first started. I was probably about 165, 70 pounds, and he gave me one, and I probably stopped breathing for like a couple seconds.
Yeah, no, I was a dumb one that asked to step in the ring, and it's one of the things I just wanted a bump because I remembered bumping, and the ring I got taught in sucked. It was so hard, it was ridiculous. But I was like, I just want to bump. I just want to get in the ring. I want to run the ropes. I want to bump a little bit. And in my mind, it was like, fuck it, let's do a little more. I'm like, Hunter, let me take a shorter tackle. Dumb move. dumb fucking move. Because I thought I was a sturdy kind of guy. Like, no, I mean, running into Hunter is like a brick fucking wall. And it just like, it's like, oh, we're just going to bounce off each other. It's going to be one of those big show Mark Henry moments. Not one bit. Yeah. It was like Evan Bourne running into Braun Strowman. Just bouncing the fuck off.
Like I said, man, I've been there, brother. Like I said, I mean, he's a brick wall. You know, like I said yesterday in Bo's live feed on Facebook. You know, he's an old oak tree. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, it needs to get chopped down, but I mean, if you run at it full force, you know, so
yeah. I'm excited to meet Jimmy at the wrestling school. I started a new job when he started training, and I'm excited to meet him. I hear he's a big dude too. But no, like I said, like I remember Hunter as Balthazar back in the Elite Pro time. Like that's where I first met him, and I honestly didn't know that him and Hunter Payne were the same person when I met, because I remember Balthazar being big dude, still big fucking dude, but it was Balthazar was like if you were to look at Test from WWF. And Hunter's like a Braun in WWE. And that's like the body difference that I remember from 2008, 2009 to 2019, 2020.
You know, I went through a bunch of stuff in my dad's basement this past week, and I found a few Windy City programs and stuff. And I saw pictures of, you know, Hunter and stuff as Balthazar, and it's just, you compare to what he is now, he's so freaking small. You know?
Right. Big dude, but still, like, I mean, like, the body structures are, like, night and day. You know, but still, I mean, like, because Hunter, I don't know how tall you are, 6'4", 6'5", I want to guess, somewhere in there, maybe taller.
Yeah, he's about 6'4".
Yeah. I mean, it's a big fucking dude, you know, and I'm like, I always saw myself as a big fucking dude. I'm 6'2", I'm well over 350, fat fuck, but still big fucking dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, like I'll just take a short attack from Hunter Payne. How bad could it fucking be? Like I said, you know, like, you know, no, it was fucking horrible. And then I was like, yeah, you know, put me in the corner, you know, fucking, fucking, throw some shit at me, and he did. Dropped. Like I was like, yeah, no, it was a cool feeling to have those moments back that I missed so long ago. But maybe I should have just started smaller with like a Max Blaylock or a James Creed and built myself up to like a Hunter Payne. Like I'm not saying.
I mean, good.
I was gonna say, like, I mean, like, I'm sure a knife edge chop from anybody of any size fucking hurts. But again, you gotta start small, work your way up.
You gotta be, honestly, like, especially stepping in the ring with anybody, you have to be sincerely mentally prepared on what you're going to endure. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's what I try to explain to anybody that tries to say, you know, oh, you know, it's fake and, you know, you don't get hurt. And I'm like, my ass, I don't get hurt. You know, I mean, back in 2018 when I first came back, my second match back was against Hunter. And, you know, we were having a great match, you know what I mean? And then he picked me up and dropped me for an atomic drop, and my knee went out, you know? So if you get injuries like that, you know, or worse, you know, like a broken leg, a broken arm, broken back, neck, whatever the case may be, it's not fake. It's not fake whatsoever. You know, that's why I tell anybody, even like, you know, some people, you know, training, like a couple of days ago, I had somebody from Oregon. I don't know how they found me or knew who I was, but I found somebody from Oregon message me, and it was like, so, like, can you give me advice? You know, because I'm going to start training once the stuff ends. I was like, you have to be mentally prepared of what you're going to endure, because it's not soft. It's not ballet. You know, you're going to hit hard, you know?
Yeah. The one thing that I got out of training when I went through it, and I still, even to this day, I regret not choosing wrestling over the job I had at the time. Because the job I had at the time, definitely, I mean, money's important. You need to have a job to get through the independent business. I know that. Oh yeah, it's fucking Hunter. Okay. Oh shit, I'm gonna bring him on. It's gonna be awesome. Hey Hunter, thanks for calling in.
What's going on, buddy?
Not much. I'm gonna get to you, but I want to finish the story real quick before I kind of bring you in and talk.
No sweat.
I appreciate it. the one thing I learned from the wrestling business when I got into it, and I knew, like, even before going to the class, that it was going to be hard. My cousin never, like, sugarcoated anything, and he was upfront and honest about it. And he was talking to me at 17 years old. He's like, I'm starting to do Elite Pro Wrestling. We're starting to school. I want you to come in. I want you to be part of the first class and everything. And I put it off for 2 years. And that's me. That's laziness on my part. And I can admit that 100% even to this day. But when I did get into it, he explained to me it's going to be hard, and because you're my cousin, it's going to be harder on you than anyone else. And I was like, fuck it, let's do it. I remember going into class and doing like 30 minutes of straight squats. Like, that was the first thing we did. Like, you want to warm up, you do squats. Put your hands on the ring, and you squat down until we're done. Awesome leg power. I mean, I got so much power on my lower body.
Cucumber.
But are you calling me a cucumber, or are you ordering Subway? What are you doing?
Is that what you use in your private? Never mind.
Goddamn, Hunter. Oh God, I think you're gonna go through a tunnel here in a minute. But yeah, I mean, it's no joking into the business, and there are people that I talk to. Even when I worked with people today at the manufacturer plant I work at. I'm able to keep up and keep moving, even though I'm a heavy-set dude. I'm a smoker. I have asthma, but I can move. I can keep going with everybberry. And they're like, man, how are you not?
Bucket of wings sitting there for you at the end of the shift.
We make pails. Guess what goes in them? But they're like, how do you keep moving? I mean, for a big guy, because there are other guys like me, and they get tired out. I'm like, dude, honestly, I mean, I did wrestling and training back in the day, and the biggest thing they teach you is stamina and endurance and how to keep moving. I mean, like, in wrestling,
you're a big dude doesn't mean you can't have wind, brother. There's a lot of big guys out there that can go, man. So
right, and that's how I explained to him. I was like, "Oh, you did wrestling? I mean, yeah, that's all fake, isn't it?" I was like, "Oh my god, dude, not one bit."
Well, if I may cut in real quick, and Hunter, you'll probably agree too, but there's a difference between being in shape and then in ring shape. Sure. I mean, am I right? Yeah, there's a difference, because when I first started, I had no body fat on me whatsoever. And, I can run as long as anybody can. But as soon as I got in that ring and I started running those ropes, I was blowing up within about 20 seconds.
Yeah. Yep. You can run your life away on a treadmill. Doesn't mean you're in shape to get in that ring.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam, I'm going to let you go so I can talk to Hunter a little bit, but I do appreciate you calling back in.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem.
Cool. Anything you want to say to Hunter before I hang up on you, though? Just for the hell of it?
I still don't like you.
Oh, you don't have to. That's fine. That's fine. Fans bring the weapons match. You sure you want that? I don't think you really do.
The question is if you really want that.
I think you need to sleep on that one, buddy.
Oh, I've slept on it. I thought about it long and hard. I mean, it's up to you if you want to get retired early.
Oh,
you're not the first, nor will you be the last guy to try to do or say that to me.
All right, maybe Travis will retire you, huh? God, coming at you, brother. Okay, Adam, thanks for calling in, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hunter, how you doing, sir?
Not too bad, buddy. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, man. We're getting through. We're about 2.5 hours into the second Southland Championship Wrestling Roundtable. I think it's going pretty good. Had a chance to talk to some new people compared to last month. James Creed, Adam Cage, Holiday. You're coming back, and I got to talk to Nisa for a little bit.
On that one, that I did throw up in my mouth a little bit. Still,
the Max Holiday conversation. I like I said, man. I'll admit it. I marked out way too fucking much. But isn't that what wrestling's all about? Is to find that excitement,
dude.
Right?
You wouldn't be doing it if you didn't love it or have your favorites, right?
Right. And yeah, it's a little weird being in my 30s, but realistically, like,
I'm a little older than that, so it's all good.
Right. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, when I went on break after talking to Max, I was like, maybe I did mark out way too much. But I was like, I don't think I'm that far off of Max Holliday's age. It's like I'm marking out to some of my own fucking age. It's weird to think about, but at the same time, it's so cool because
it's all good, man.
Yeah. But hey, I finally got a chance to ask Max Holiday the question that was related to the shot that you took on your kid. Do you have any response to what he said?
He's full of shit. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
You know what? If my son is there and he's watching a show and he's involved as a fan, he has the right to say whatever he wants. performer has no reason whatsoever to go and lay his hands on anyone, regardless of who that person is.
That's true. Were you a little bothered at the fact that Travis C entered the SCW ring last month? Did you feel like I was going to destroy the SCW ring? I hear James Creed said earlier that he thought I'd break it.
I wasn't worried.
Right? I mean, how cool though was it? Right? Host of JFW in the middle of the SCW ring.
That'd be
long overdue.
Yeah, I think we should do it.
Right. I mean, I'll take another shoulder tackle from you and die.
we'll be up and running soon somewhere, I hope, man.
And I am sorry to hear about Genesis unfortunately closing down. And how is the search going for a new school home?
It's going. I reached out to a few places out here in Bourbonnais and Bradley, and just waiting to hear back. But this whole virus thing, dude. Just to get real for a second, it's like people are getting it and getting sick, but it's affecting people in much other ways as well, man. Small businesses is one of them, and Genesis is part of that. It was a sad day, bro. It's a real sad day for me.
Yeah, when I saw the post on Facebook, it was hard to imagine that that it came to that point. And I wish the best to Genesis and all the employees and everything, and hopefully maybe down the road, because it's not just a home for SCW, but they got a lot of
a lot of boxers, a lot of they have a handful of pro fighters fighting out of there, and when this happens and you're not fighting and people can't train, you're not generating any revenue. So what are you gonna do? How long can you really hang on?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So hopefully maybe down the road, maybe Genesis could start again, maybe. But yeah, the biggest thing is I'm hoping that SCW school does find a home soon. So when everything opens up, you get the Creeds and Blaylocks and stuff like that back in there and just doing what they're doing. I know JPH spends a lot of time at the school. We've seen a couple the up and comer guys. Brent and Brody and was it Too Tough was here? He's starting in there.
Jimmy 2-Ton Gun.
Yeah, I guess he wants to give me a shoulder tackle too.
He's a little bit bigger than I am, buddy. Let me tell you.
I hear he's a big guy. I'm excited to meet him because he actually started up right after I started this job, so I never got a chance to meet him. But we talked with Brody last month. He said he was coming back to school, obviously, before it was closing up. But how do you feel about the roster you have at the school and the future of the SCW roster?
It's great. Wait till you see, when we can start running shows, what SCW had in store. Jimmy 2-Ton Gun is going to be a huge personality, dude. He's probably
pun intended.
No, he's probably. I'm going to say he's probably near 400 pounds, and he's got a personality that's out of this world. You guys are going to love this dude.
I'm excited. And there's when you sit there and I'm trying to remember if I go back into my independent, what I know, and you might know some of the guys that I may mention, but Cell Block was a big guy. I think he was about 6'7", north of 400 pounds. He wrestled in New Breed Wrestling Alliance, I think a little bit, and I can't remember the name of the company, but they're based out of Grand Park. They had a lot of shows. But there was one guy, I remember from LWF, and I don't know if you remember anyone from LWF, because I don't know your history too much outside of Wendy City.
I know a handful of guys from there.
Do you remember a guy named Charcoal? Really big dude?
Charcoal, I do not.
Okay. I remember him. He almost reminded me of Bam Bam Bigelow. But when I saw him for the first time, I was 7 years old, and I wasn't fat and huge and everything. I was a small little guy. And I remember this big dude, Charcoal, getting hit by, I want to say it was Supreme. I think he was wrestling Supreme. And he got super kicked over the railing and landed in my dad's lap. And my dad just freaked out and shoved him off. But he was a big dude. He had to have been like I said, Bam Bam Bigelow or Vader. So those are the only two guys I could really think that were big guys. Not built like you or even Willie and stuff like that. Back in 08 with Willie the Bomb and Trauma. They're big guys too, but they're about 6'1", 6'2", right? They're not tall dudes. And was I right? You're about 6'4", right?
Yeah, 6'3".
Okay, 6'3". So I mean,
You're
like
right
I said, like cell block 6'7". Charcoal, I'm not sure if it was maybe because I was small, but he looked like a big dude too. You don't have that in like independent wrestling so much around here, anyways. It's a lot of like the younger guys, like a Jake Andrews or a Blaylock, Creed. I mean, sometimes, like I said, there's you. You're probably the biggest guy in the region, and even being a 6'3". I mean, but Jimmy, he's what? He's taller than you, isn't he?
Jimmy, he might be my height.
Okay.
He's about my height.
Right.
He's a former semi-pro ball player too. So.
Okay, so if he comes in and he's ready to go, I mean, who could you put up against him? You know, I mean, like he'd run through everybody.
We'll see. Right?
Maybe a new addition to Elite Pain and be completely unstoppable.
Hey, you never know.
Right? I mean, we did see what happened to your last Elite Pain member, you guys. But obviously, Central didn't make it back here to sit down and talk with us. But I
believe he's under the weather.
Oh no, that sucks.
Yeah.
But okay, I'm sure you've had conversations with him and everything. Has there been any news pertaining to SCW and maybe any I don't obviously don't give away any secrets, but is there anything you could tell us about what's going to happen once SCW's doors open? Is there any ideas?
Well, here's the biggest thing.
Yes.
It's hard to make plans going forward, simply because people that were wrestling before this happened, are they going to want to continue to wrestle when this is over? I think a lot of people are scared of it. A lot of people, it's hard to fight. It's hard to fight and battle something you can't see. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I know the second they give the go, I'll be there. But we got to wait and see what happens, and see who's still willing to get out there and wrestle. Like this year, even if they say, you know what, we're going to sit out the rest of this year, we'll see you next year. We have to make adjustments. And that's going to be a lot for him to do. So. It's hard to make any plans. It's hard to do anything right now when it's just so up in the air, bro. So up in the air.
So you're saying this is probably the most stress that Sentinel has been under?
Probably.
So you're saying he's going to get a lot worse?
You think he came on Rebel last time you seen him? Holy shit.
Well, hey, I mentioned it earlier. As far as heavyweight championships and even championships in general in SCW, you're one Genesis championship away from being a Triple Crown winner. Is there any thoughts to you wanting to maybe go for the Genesis title to kind of complete that trifecta?
Not at the moment. Right now, I'm flying high as a tag team, brother.
So, yeah, but I mean, why not be
doing a singles thing right now? Isn't in my future. Yeah,
but you can always hold two belts, pull double duty every night. You could do it. Guns are pain.
That's a hard thing to do for an old man like myself.
Well, I'll tell you what, you could win that title, and if you want to hand it off to me, and I'll be Genesis champion for a bit. I mean, who wouldn't love to see travesty as the SCW Genesis champion?
That would be a travesty for sure.
Oh, God, how dare you. Use my name against me. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about tag teams and everything. Now we see the modern day Sharpshooters as an up and coming tag team, current ARW Indiana, current ARW tag team champions. What other tag teams could you see maybe bringing into SCW? Is there any from another company that you would find interesting?
There's a couple tag teams that I know the Sentinel's been talking to about bringing in. Again, that was pre-coronavirus and pre-COVID-19.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's been in contact with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Right now it's kind of hard and silly to make plans because is this thing going to get worse? Is it?
Let's fancy it.
As time goes on, we don't know. So right now they'll say yes, and he could start making plans, and then when the time comes, they're like, yeah, fuck this, I ain't going out there.
Yeah, we'll just go ahead and fancy book it right now. Let's say COVID-19 never happened. Let's say SCW is having a show at the end of this month. Is there a tag team you would love to see at the SCW show to take you on for the tag titles? If I had to pick one, I love the Caribbeans from the ARW. I think they're a young talent that would be great. I'm a huge fan of the Super Beard Brothers. I saw them down in Powerhouse. They have great chemistry. Amy mentioned Red Flag Army. I remember them from DWA, and Adam Cage obviously threw Bulletproof into.
I mean, I might be a little biased here when I say this, but I can't. Johnny Wild's team.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Cobra and Just Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to get in there with those guys again. I know we wrestled them, I believe, in February. I would also like. I wouldn't even call it a rematch because the only time I wrestled them was in a triple threat. Would be the Sharpshooters. I think I owe those boys a little something.
Oh,
Well, yeah, I mean they won the Indiana tag team titles by pinning you. So there's got to be a little retribution from there.
Yeah, they did. So yeah, I mean, not only because they're coming out of SCW camp, but those guys, man, they're workhorses, and like I said, I do owe them a little something. So, I'm going to say I would like to see Elite Pain come out of this thing going head to head with Sharpshooters.
Yeah. Now I know the SCW ARW. So the personal side of the feud kind of seemed to kind of fizzle out, but I mean, you still see ARW guys here and there. I mean, obviously we have Holiday who's around because he's champion. Hudson has made an appearance quite often as well. So maybe down the road, you see ARW tag champions, Sharpshooters taking on the SCW tag champions of Elite Pain, maybe in a title versus title match.
Never know. I'm not against it. I'm definitely not against it.
Right? I mean, either team, representing both brands would be something incredible to see.
For sure.
And that's a curious thing. And I'm not sure if I ever asked you this, but how would you prepare to face, high flyers or, these quick moving guys like the Sharpshooters as compared to preparing for like a Max Holiday match? Is there a difference in
the one thing I would have to do is work on my wind. I mean, I could probably not touch a weight a month before that match and still have my strength and throw those guys around. The biggest thing would be just trying to keep up with them. For sure. Yeah. Those guys, I don't know that they do get tired. I don't know that they do get winded.
Steve wanted me to ask, why did Marco attack Maverick and you did nothing?
Well, what do you want me to do? I've been a partner with Marco for 12 years, 13, 14 years, right? If he's got an issue with Maverick, between them.
Why did Terry help you win the title, handed to you on a silver platter?
You have to ask Terry that.
I know. I feel like we asked these questions last month.
Yeah, but you got to ask Terry that. I don't know why he did what he did.
But Maverick was a part of it. Yeah. Okay. James Creed actually was trying to call in. I would love to get his feedback on a tag team match between you guys. If you want to go ahead and try calling back, James, I will get you on here talking to Hunter. Steve, I think they were answered though. I mean, a lot of it was a decision of other people. Okay, let's get James on here. Talk to James Creed. James Creed.
Hey, I don't know how well you guys can hear me. I'm driving right now.
I can hear you.
Does it sound good?
What do you mean you're driving? You should be self-quarantining, pal.
Hey, I just had to go pick up my nephews.
Okay. Well, you're breaking the rule by having me echo. So I'm going to hang up on you in about 30 seconds. I'm giving you an opportunity to say something to Hunter about tag team matchup.
Anytime, anywhere, you name it, Sharpshooters are always game.
Wait, why is it I always hear Travis anytime, anywhere from these guys until I get my hands on them?
Right. All right, James. I can't do the echo hanging up on you. See, echoes, man. I can't do echoes.
That's awful. Felt like he was in the tunnel.
Right.
Whirlwind.
And that's the thing. Like, I love talking to people, and I would love to have a longer conversation with them. I just can't deal with the echo because now I have to hear that on the on when I release this on a podcast. Ugh. What about giving Bulletproof a tag team title shot?
Thank God I wasn't eating anything. I would have choked. Who have they beaten? Will I give them a title shot? Sure, but have they earned it?
I mean,
I'm waiting for your answer. You're thinking way too long on this already.
I think they never got the opportunity to earn a title shot, but I think
how you earn a title shot? By winning your matches. Winning matters, bro.
I agree with you 100%. No, I agree with you 100%. Now, I mean, their win and loss record, maybe it's not great. I don't keep records. I don't keep scores and everything. But I do know, I think they had more single matches than they've had.
If I'm not mistaken, the few matches they've won, they've had a little help from their manager by kicking someone's face off. I could be wrong on that,
though. That is true. But, I mean, you got to admit, it could make for a good match. Bo said last month, you guys have a history, even pre-SCW, back before the company changed names and all that other stuff. Who knows? Maybe down the road, they wouldn't mind seeing a fatal 4-way tag team match, with Bulletproof, Sharpshooters, Elite Pain, and Johnny Wild's tag. I can't remember, what was Johnny Wild's tag team's name? Do you remember?
Is it the Strike Kings?
I think I'm trying to remember. I just remember. I remember their entrance. I remember their theme song. I remember their names, but for some reason the tag team names slip in my mind.
Almost positive striking, but don't quote me on that.
Right. I would love for Sentinel to make a fatal 4-way tag team elimination match between you guys. I think that would draw some decent money.
Hey, not to cut you off here, but I'm gonna call someone out here.
Yeah, go ahead.
She listens all the time. Amy, call in. I'm sure Travis would love to talk to you.
Yeah, Amy. It seems like she's
Steve calls in all the time. Steve calls in all the time. Amy, you're more than welcome to call. I like to hear from fans. Actually, it's pretty cool.
Right, and that's I open it up to everyone, wrestlers and fans alike. Everyone's welcome to call in. Just don't be like James Creed and do it on speaker. Keep headphones on. How do I not get an echo, Trev? I'm glad you asked. Headphones. You plug headphones into your phone, into your tablet, or go Bluetooth headphones. Headphones will prevent the echoing. The only problem with the echo is just when your phone goes on speaker, because then you're just hearing the show go on behind you. So if you have headphones, plug them in, call me, then we could have more fans, more SCW fans. But Amy seems more of a DWA fan than anything.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, hey, Amy's calling.
That's okay.
Yeah, let's see if this works. Let's see if we got it. Amy, do we have you without an echo?
Hello, you guys.
Yes, no echo. Okay, Amy is here.
Just add headphones.
Right. Well, thank you for calling in, and I appreciate you taking the time out to listen. I know it's hard for a lot of people to sit down and listen to me talk for 3 hours. I know it's killing Hunter.
It's brutal, dude. I ain't gonna lie. Right? It's brutal. But that's why they invented alcohol.
How dare you?
Even this early in the day.
So, but Amy, you've been here for the past 2.5 hours, and I think you actually sat through the 4-hour episode we did last month. Thank you so much.
I did. I missed you guys. I look forward to this stuff. I'm actually taking an early mom day today, so I'm just kind of relaxing. And
happy Mother's Day. Mother's Day is coming up tomorrow, so happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
So let me get your perspective as a fan of pro wrestling. How do you feel about the opportunities that people are gaining? We've talked over the last couple hours. Adam Cage feels Bulletproof isn't getting opportunities that they deserve. Do you feel that's true?
No. They are given plenty of opportunities. It's what they choose to do with it. And when a tag team can't even cheat the right way, Man,
that's boom, nailed it.
If you cheat, it's to win, and clearly they missed that memo. So I don't know. I do have a funny story though, really quick though. When we were at the 1019 show, I am an indie fan all the way around. I am a little partial to DWA. ARW is my heart though. That was the very first show I ever went to. But at the 1019 show, I was sitting in the front row. I had my DWA shirt on, and Jay and Backwoods were wrestling Machine and BOW and Max Holiday. And I was sitting in the front row and I was like, DWA, DWA. And I didn't know who Jay and Backwoods were going to be wrestling until Max and them came out representing ARW. And Jay goes, did you literally just in my face go DWARW? I was like, I can't wear swag anymore. I was like, I'm so like, I'm like, yeah. I'll call myself out. I'm like, that did just happen. So yeah, I backed off the swag a little bit because I'm undecided all the time. I just have my favorites no matter what. And, but I love and miss you guys. Oh, this is brutal.
It's
thanks
the same
for
on
doing
our
this,
end
Trav.
too. It's the same on our end too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and that's one of the reasons I want to do like these roundtables and stuff, because it's hard. It's hard for independent wrestlers to really, stay involved in their fan stuff if they're not using social media right. And I mean, you got the younger guys and everything like Max Blaylock, James Creed. I mean, I can even throw Max Holiday in there. They're so current on their accounts and everything, posting videos and stuff like that.
And we appreciate that. As fans, that's all we got. And thanks for doing this, Trav, really, because we got to try to stay connected.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons, like,
I forgot. I thought it was on mute.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not on mute. I can definitely hear you. But that's one of the reasons, like, when we started up Just Freakin Wrestling between me and Dizzle J, like, we wanted to focus, obviously on the worldwide wrestling business with WWE, New Japan, AEW, and stuff like that. But we still wanted to focus on the independent wrestling because I don't think independence really gets the respect that it deserves.
I
like
agree.
when people sit there and they look at like baseball and stuff like that, they think of Major League Baseball. They rarely think of AAA and AA and that's what independent wrestling is. It's the minor leagues of WWE, AEW, and stuff. I mean, look at Melanie Cruz, ARW Women's Champion. Now she's on AEW. But you look at Marche Rocky, who's on TNA, and it's the cool things because these are where people grow to become the next level stars that you can watch on TV, on pay-per-views, on the WWE Network, and so on and so forth. And that gets neglected way too much. So when me and Jay were putting together this show, I was like, I want to get a hold of local independent wrestling companies, and I want to sit there and promote them along with everything else. Because I don't want to sit there and think of like, here's AEW up here, or here's WWE up here, and everyone else is down here, because that's not how wrestling should be. It should be right across the middle. Everyone's equal to everybody. So when we met with Southland Championship Wrestling, and I wish I knew how we got together there, because I can't remember how like we first contacted each other. But we went to the show, and the first person I believed I talked to was Keist, and then it was Hunter Payne. Because I think Hunter, you're out there, kind of talking a little bit with fans and everything. Not too much, but a little bit. So we had a chance to talk to you. We had a chance to talk to Keith and everything.
I try to keep in touch, Trav, with as many people as possible. But honestly, and again, it was a real sad day when Genesis closed down. My life has been turned upside down from that moment forward. I still got to clear the gym out. I'm going to be going there as soon as I hang up with you. I got to go tear the ring down and get stuff out of there. Got to find somewhere to store it. Got to find a new place to train. I'm not stopping on that. It's what I love to do. So
yeah,
well, it's been hard, man. It's been hard, and it wasn't for my wife having my back, sitting there holding me up. Because there's times, man, sometimes you just get in your own head and it gets to be pretty ugly.
Yeah. Well, and that's like, I think what some people kind of miss too is like, I mean, they're pro wrestlers, but there's real people behind those pro wrestlers and stuff like that.
Oh, my old lady deals with a lot, man. I ain't gonna lie. She deals with a lot.
Yeah, but that's what JFW is here for, is to promote wrestling from high to low and across the board, and that's why, we reached out to SCW, ARW. We worked a little bit with Powerhouse out in Pontiac. We tried to work with Northern Lights, but I just don't think they were there ready to work with us, which is totally fine. It's their decision. And we just want to promote independent wrestling as much as possible. And that's why, talking to SCW, I want to develop that Southland Talk show once a month, where it'd be SCW's like Raw Talk or Talking Smack, the show after the pay-per-view kind of thing, where we can sit down, recap the event that happened, bring on the wrestlers that were in the match.
We need more people like Steve and Amy to call in.
Yeah, I love talking to fans because I
will more often. I was just really nervous. I'm still nervous. I don't know why.
I mean, I've been doing podcasting for 5 years, and I still get nervous doing this stuff.
I sing karaoke when I'm kind of buzzed, but that's about it. Got stage fright all the time.
Well, as a fellow fan, let me ask you: did I mark out way too much to Max Holiday? Did I go overboard?
I was actually grabbing coffee, and I missed that part, and I missed Max. I was hoping he still would have been on, but I'm going to tell you, I am older than most of you guys, and I still have my mark out moments. So no, I'm sure you didn't. I'm sure you. I was actually excited when I saw that he posted that he was going to be on. I was like, oh, cool. But I didn't get on right first this morning, but I got on as quick as I could.
Yeah, and I felt bad. I mean, I think he feels like and everything, and I do feel bad.
They love it. They love it.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I feel like I gave him the credit that he was due. He is the only 3-time heavyweight SCW champion. He's the champion of the Southland, and he's an ARW guy. I mean, you gotta give that credit to him.
For sure. And I have been going to SCW for a few years now, and I have to say, I have never seen anyone get the crowd going and as pissed off as Max does. And I absolutely love it because he's good as face, he's good as heel, but oh my God, does he piss off the SCW fans. I love it because, like I said, ARW is my heart. That's the first show I ever went to.
That's okay, though. You're a little biased.
Whatever, Hunter. Oh my God. You're fans. Oh my God.
Hey, we have some of the best on the planet. Don't deny it.
I don't. Passionate. How about that?
They are. They are. And I love every one of them. I love every one of them.
I love it. I think it's awesome. But yeah, I'm the one that's going to get. I'm the one like ARW.
But hey, let's go back and ask Doris how when we were at ARW, him and his daughter, they felt their lives were threatened. They got escorted out by fans.
No, at an ARW show, one of the women that brings her son there, she had to stop him from going after, I want to say, BOW with a chair. I think it was actually BOW.
Yes, it was at a Southland show. He was choking me out with a chair, yes.
Yeah, yes. And I was like, oh, shit.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's good stuff, though. I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah, when you have to stop the show and watch the fans, like, oh my God.
No, I mean, obviously I've wrestled all over. Southland fans, man, they got a great core base of fans, and they are, like, I call them the crazy.
They do.
Man. They're SCW crazy. Sure.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm excited for you to bring SCW back when this whole thing passes.
Dude, the second they flip that switch, we'll be there.
Right. Right, and I think I actually mentioned it to you. Like, I'm hoping, like, we get an opportunity to see you at that Steam Hollow. I think that'd be a great show.
At what?
Steam Hollow. Remember I was telling you about that brewery?
Yes, you did. Yeah, again, right now, all that stuff, Trav.
It's I know
talks on everything like that. No one's talking to anybody right now. They don't want to hear it. They're losing money. I mean.
I'm a Mark bro. I'm a Mark bro. I think ahead. I'm telling you right now, and I get it. From a business perspective, it's something you can't think about. But look at Travis and how he plans shit. I just mark out to everything. I want the future to happen.
That's why we love it, though. That's why we love it.
Right. That's what I said. I bust your balls about it, but it's all good, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. I know deep down, I don't eat that much fucking chicken. But yeah,
you
no.
do.
Okay, I do. I'm not gonna lie. I got some in the oven right now.
But the key is to keep all that sauce off it. Just eat the chicken.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I saw some, and then I get an extra bowl of sauce to dip them in. I'm not gonna lie. You know who I am. No, I mean, Southland Championship Wrestling is by far my favorite wrestling company to watch in the Midwest area. And ARW is right there too. They're both.
I greatly appreciate that, man. Our guys bust our ass. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that try to put on a great event.
And that's like, and the whole goal, with JFW and with me and Jay is like trying to get to as many independent shows as possible. And it's just weird how like, like some shows fall on the same day and you got to sit there and pick your battles. And I'll always choose SCW and ARW over other companies just because they're the ones that gave me more time than anyone else. And that's something I can never like repay, other than just doing stuff like this, and it feels so small and I wish I could do more for you guys, but it's literally, this is what I could do. And I'm hoping it's enough for like the fans and the wrestlers and stuff to get this opportunity to talk. So.
Hey, dude, you gave that opportunity. I jumped on it. You know what I mean? Why would I not?
Mm-hmm. See, I just want to put myself.
You know what I mean? It's greatly appreciated. I tell you that all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
You are appreciated. Yep, I agree.
Right, because travesty is the best. I'm not gonna lie. That's why I bought myself a new hat.
I don't know. I think Dizzle J and Dallas, they might be able to do a little bit better.
But that's because they've never made fun of you. That's why you like them.
Some people are smarter than others.
Oh, hey, I only do it when I'm away from you. When I'm
you noticed that? Yeah, I noticed that.
I know it. I know what I
on the keyboard, on the phone. Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah.
You're just crazy.
But at least Dizzle J was nice enough to get me a shirt, man. I do appreciate that.
We got you the shirt. I'll fight that.
That's not what he told me.
Well, he lies.
Oh, he's never lied to me before.
Well, I'll ask him when we record the show later on this afternoon. So much wrestling going on today for me. I'm so excited about this. We got,
hey, that's the one bright light we all us wrestling fans have, brother.
Absolutely. It's gonna be one of, and like even Adam Cage, he wants his own personalized JFW shirt. We're gonna do that. Hunter, I still want to do that. Well, I'm gonna do one for you too.
Thank God you don't have to pre-order them.
Oh God, yeah, right. How dare you?
Sorry, Cage.
Down the line, James Creed wants one. I'm gonna make one for Creed too. Hunter Payne, James Creed, Adam Cage. I'm gonna make JFW shirts for you guys. But
me too.
And Amy. Shirts for everybody. Hunter, like I told Max Holiday, like somewhere down the road, I want to be able to sit down with Max Holiday and do a podcast about his career in the business. I want to do the same thing for with you and get a chance to do that. So that's something we're definitely going to have to work on because, like I told Steve earlier, outside of Lunatic Wrestling Federation, New Breed Wrestling Alliance, Southland Championship Wrestling, and ARW Pro, I don't know anything about the independent history in this area. So it'd be really cool to sit down and talk with you about the Windy City days and all that stuff in your career. So we're definitely
anytime, dude. Do that. Anytime. I might even be able to bring a few of the Windy City alum on.
Yeah, this is something that
would be amazing.
Right? Oh, I'm still in contact with a lot of people. There's not a whole lot of people that like me, but the ones that do, they'll do me the favor and they'll hop on and talk to you, Trav.
That's awesome. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to talk with Jay. I'm going to talk with Daly. We're going to get that all set up. Because I want to do that stuff because I know people love the independent area. I mean, especially Chicago's independent history. I know there's so much there, and I want to get that story out.
Oh, there is.
Yeah. So we're getting to the end of the show. I know I'm going to get a notification here shortly saying that.
Amy.
Yes.
I am glad you called in.
Thanks, Hunter. No problem. I'm
going to lean on you next time too. I'm going to lean on you next time too.
Well, this was a little easier than I thought. So yeah, I was worried about the echo, but yeah, I'll call in more often.
Be yourself. You probably next to Doris, you're probably one of the most well-informed, knowledgeable independent fans out there. So
I appreciate that. I remember the first time I met you. Oh my gosh, I think we were both just as excited. You're like, I can't believe you're actually here. I see you advertising everybody else's show. I'm like, why? When I came with Angus and I was like, well, and that's when Braun was there too. I was with Angus and I'm like, well, as long as you book him, it's a package deal. So that was pretty
Angus
exciting.
Is a good dude.
Yes.
Oh, he's one of the best, man.
He's a good dude.
So I appreciate you guys calling in. I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to close out the show and everything and call it a day.
All right, brother.
All right, thanks
for having me on, Trev. Hey, everyone stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Be safe. I love all you guys.
Love you guys too.
Bye. All right, guys, we are coming to the end of the show. We're going to hit the 3-hour mark here shortly. I just want to remind you all, make sure if you're a fan, if you're a wrestler, I mean, I'm sure you're following Southland Championship Wrestling on Facebook and social media. Make sure you are doing that. Make sure you're following JFW, Just Freakin Wrestling, the JFW podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All you got to do is search JFW podcast. And the show that you are hearing, we are available on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Podbean, also YouTube. Just search Just Freakin Wrestling, get the video on YouTube, and get the audio on all the podcast streams I mentioned. This will be happening every month for Southland Championship Wrestling. We're going to get a chance to talk and get you guys on here to talk what you want to talk about. I'm getting close to the end here, so special thanks to Audible and Ball Washington being sponsors of the show. Make sure you check out our merchandise at tpublic.com. Search JFW. Pick up the merchandise. Help us out. If you haven't checked out our Patreon yet, patreon.com/JFW podcast. Signing up for the tiers help us out, and we can do a lot more for the show and just do a lot more for you guys too. So that's all I got. It's time to ring the bell on this episode because I am Travis T, and thank you for listening to another episode of Just Freakin Wrestling.